Nation friends, I'm glad that you're here today. And actually, what I have is a little bit of a rant, but I think it's in step with what God's saying and doing. It's in step with what God's doing in our country today. But let me start with looking with you at Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. These are pretty well-known verses, but I want you to look at them in a kind of a fresh application way today. So it says, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and don't lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Um, that is a good, solid wisdom from God. Well, what's it saying? It's saying trust in the Lord or rely on the Lord. Well, what does that mean? To rely on the Lord in all of our ways. Well, we want to rely on the Lord. That means that he will lead you, that he'll guide you, that he will provide for you as you seek him. Well, that's what Jesus described in Matthew 6:33 in the Sermon on the Mount. He says, seek first the kingdom and its righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Rely on him, trust on him, that if you seek God, as you seek God's perspective, that he will lead you, he will guide you, and he will provide for you. Then it goes on and it says, don't lean on your own understanding. Now, at this point, I'd like to read another translation or an interpretation, and that is from the Passion Translation or interpretation. What it says is trust in the Lord completely and don't rely on your own opinions. With all your heart, rely on him to guide you, and he will lead you in every decision you make. Be intimate with him in whatever you do, and he will lead you wherever you go. Don't think for a moment that you know it all. Well, the reason why I want to highlight that is that it uses the word opinion. Don't rely on your own opinion. So I'm kind of studying, I'm looking up the meaning of the words. And when it says don't lean on your own understanding or don't lean on your own opinions, what it's actually saying, that word understanding or the word lean on is to support yourself. Well, I like the Passion Translation because we tend to support ourselves with our own opinions. Here comes the rant. I've come to define opinions because our culture shares opinions. Social media is about opinions. My opinion versus your opinion. Unfortunately, often what we find in opinions is uh, ill-informed or uninformed, borrowed conclusions from others. Let me break that down. Let me say it again for a moment. Opinions all too often are ill-informed or uninformed, borrowed conclusions from others. In other words, somebody said that somebody said, this is what's right. And I've borrowed that truth or what I think is that truth. I borrowed it and now I stand on it vehemently. I will fight for my opinion, for my perspective that is actually ill-informed or uninformed. It's not even mine. I haven't thought it through. Don't lean on your own opinions. Don't support yourself with your own ill-informed, uninformed, borrowed conclusions from others. It could even be from your pastor who said, this is what you need to believe about this person, or this is what you need to believe about this church, or this ministry, or this interpretation, but it might be ill-informed. It might be uninformed, or at least your perspective might be. Instead, we need to come to God with a humble, teachable heart. So let's land this. Do you understand what you are saying, or are you relying on others' interpretations of things? Do you understand what you're saying in relation to God's perspective? That's the goal. To understand your life from God's perspective, to share your understanding in a humble way, to be informed, but to rely on God. So first, seek, trust, rely upon God, that as you pattern your life after him, that he will lead you, guide you, and provide for you. Secondly, turn from opinions, particularly your own. Turn from borrowed, ill-informed conclusions. Instead, gain understanding through reading the book of Proverbs, through seeking the Lord. Rely on Matthew 6:36. Seek the Lord. Seek his kingdom. Seek his righteousness, and he will add these things to you. So as you consider your day today, I want you to seek the kingdom and the righteousness of God practically. In other words, seek God's perspective on what you're doing. Go to people and even before God with a teachable, soft heart, gain wisdom, and live in humility. Have an awesome day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.